everywhere. GBS.
A very good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and you are just in time for The Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I am your ambassador, Susan Nganga. We begin this bulletin with what's happening in Sudan as it enters its third year. Over 1 million internally displaced people are now returning to their homes despite ongoing violence and devastated infrastructure. The International Organization for Migration says most are heading back to Al Jazeera, Sana'a, and even parts of Khartoum. But aid agencies warn that without urgent support, basic services like water, healthcare, and mine clearance remains out of reach. Here is a full report.
You see the level of destruction for the past 2 years. This is heartbreaking. I spent 2 years of my life in this generous country, which has shown solidarity to hundreds of thousands of refugees over the years. Pionnier Shar in Khartoum, as you can see, is destroyed, totally destroyed. The level of destruction that I have just witnessed in Khartoum explains to you why we have over 4 million people who have been forced to flee this country and go into neighboring countries.
As war rages on across Sudan, a quiet shift is taking place. More than 1 million people internally displaced by the country's brutal conflict have begun returning home, many for the first time in over a year. The International Organization for Migration says the majority of these returns have been to Al Jazeera state, followed by Sana'a and Khartoum. But the agency warns the road back is fragile and fraught with uncertainty.
The majority of returns has been to Al Jazeera, almost 71%, and then 13% to Sana'a, and so far 8% to Khartoum. As colleagues mentioned, we expect about 2.1 million to return to Khartoum by the end of this year, but this will depend on many factors, especially the security situation and the ability to restore services in a timely manner.
Many of the returnees are from Khartoum, a city scarred by months of fighting between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces. More than 12 million Sudanese have been displaced since violence erupted in April 2023, making it the world's largest internal displacement crisis. Now, some are coming back, not because it's safe, but because they have no choice.
An old man approached during our visit to say, our needs are simple. What we're talking about is food, water, healthcare, and education, since this is the future of our children, and we really need to invest in this future.
The United Nations says it's racing against time to meet these basic needs. More than 1,700 wells need repair. Power and water systems lie in ruins. 6 major hospitals require urgent rehabilitation.
The restoration of electricity, the restoration of water, and the repair, rehabilitation of health facility. Just to give you an idea, there is about 1,700 wells that need to be rehabilitated, and they need power. And solarization here is a great solution. There are at least 6 hospitals that require urgent rehabilitation and repair, and a number of primary health centers.
Khartoum is littered with deadly remnants of war. The UN Mine Action Service says it needs at least $10 million just to begin large-scale decontamination.
Hundreds of thousands, if not more, of unexploded ordnance in the city. So the local Mine Action Authority, with support of the UN Mine Action Services, which have started the decontamination. And even in our own office, we found literally hundreds of UXO and that have now started to be cleared.
We'll keep him updated on the Sudan issue as it develops. Now we shift the focus to what's currently happening in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where nearly 90% of the Islamic State's operations are now carried out by its affiliates in Africa. Dozens of people have been killed in an attack by an Islamic State affiliate in northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo. According to local officials, about 20 of the dead were worshippers taking part in a night vigil at a church in the town of Komanda, where they were attacked by Allied Democratic Forces fighters. Nearby shops and businesses looted and set off fire. Davis Karani now reports on what's happening in the country.
The ADF emerged in Uganda in 1990s, accusing the government there of persecuting Muslims, but is now based over the border in DR Congo, where it regularly attacks civilians of all religions, as well as in Uganda. It has since become part of the Islamic State's Central African province, which also includes a group of Mozambique. According to the research monitoring, nearly 90% of the operations are now carried out by the affiliates in Africa. Father Aime Lokana Dego, a local priest, has stated that at least the 12 members who have died are of the Eucharist Crusade movement, with 6 seriously injured. Some young people were kidnapped and are untraceable. The UN-sponsored radio puts the number of the dead at 43. A spokesperson for the army confirmed 10 deaths.
Our heartfelt condolences to those who lost their lives. A deadly train derailment in southwestern Germany has claimed at least 3 lives and left dozens injured. The crash happened near the town of Riedlingen and involved a passenger train carrying around 100 people. Among the victims were the train's driver and an employee. The incident is reigniting concerns over Germany's aging rail infrastructure.
A deadly train derailment in southwestern Germany has left at least 3 people dead and dozens injured. The passenger train carrying around 100 people went off the track Sunday evening near Redlingen in Baden-Württemberg.
As for the cause of the accident, nothing conclusive can be said yet.
Among the victims were the train driver and a dustbin employee.
Because of the storm, mud had been washed off the field onto the road. My son went to clear the debris, and then he heard a big bang. He went to look, a tree had fallen, and then he saw the train up there and dead bodies.
Of the approximately 50 injured, a large number have minor injuries, but there's also around a third with very serious injuries. They were transported away quickly.
Germany's rail network, operated by Dustbahn, has faced mounting criticism for its aging infrastructure and frequent technical issues. The government has pledged billions to modernize the system, but safety concerns remain. This tragedy follows other recent rail accidents, including a 2022 derailment in Bavaria. It also recalls Germany's deadliest train crash in 1998, where 100 people died in Eschede. Investigations into the latest accidents are now underway.
This is, of course, the subject of investigation. We have no indications of an attack, an assault, or anything of that nature.
Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
That story takes us to a very fast break here at the Ambassador. Thank you for staying with us. Until now, we'll be right back.
Welcome to Fun Dance Class. Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, First, you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
Stay tuned as we dive into the vibrant world of creativity and expression.
Practice your work.
Yes.
And when you keep on practicing, you get better,
yes.
better and better each day.
Yes.
And as you get better, yes. you get now that niche of yours. Yes.
What advice can you give to those watching who are in a 9-to-5 job, but they have a gift?
My advice would be,
yes.
do not sleep on your talent.
Yes.
Just show it up to the world.
To the world.
Whether it is art, whether it is music, wherever you are gifted, let the world know what you are doing.
Which classic artist would you love to spend one day painting with, and why?
Grandma Moses. She started painting in her 70s.
Oh.
And she excelled.
Yes.
As, you know, she was a painter.
Yes.
But she started painting professionally
yes.
well past 70s.
Wow.
And by the time she died in 2002, she had done marvelously in the art world.
We are going to go straight to the topic of the day, which is AI in education. AI in education.
AI is called artificial intelligence. I think this is something that computer techs designed to make our life easier.
If you just write everything that's on ChatGPT, when you're going to your work or whatever you want to do, your interview, you're going to feel miserable.
We are going to use AI to show out your creativity, then that's not really you who did it, but like there's AI and there's you combined together.
AI should be just there to maybe enhance your points, but not just to generate for you the answers.
I think it's like 50-50 because sometimes it's like, yeah, you're just using it to like enhance like your creativity, and then other times it's like you're just stealing other people's ideas. You're not like really thinking.
Hello, my name is Nyabio. I'm from Mahanim. Call this school a good school because the second my mom saw it, she saw it was Christian-based. And when I see Christian-based, that's what the character my mother wants from me. And I like the sports that we play for PE. Like sometimes we play table tennis, we can play football, we match, and on Fridays we have games. And we verse the teachers in football. And this is why I think this school is the best school your children can go to.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now Prince William has marked 8 years since he completed his final shift as a pilot with the East Anglian Air Ambulance, a role he carried out between 2015 to 2017. While operating from Cambridge Airport, he flew missions across the region, responding to some of the most serious incidents. Here is the full story from Britain.
8 years since he completed his final shift as a pilot with the East Anglian Air Ambulance, Prince Charles of England looked back in time with a sense of nostalgia.
First of all, I'm just fantastically excited to be here today, the first day. It's been a long time coming. It's been many exams and training to get here. And I'm hugely excited to be joining a very professional bunch of guys and girls doing a sort of unique, complex job with the Air Ambulance. And it's sort of a follow-on from where I was with the military with search and rescue. So many of the same sorts of skills and in essence the similar type of job. It just follows on from search and rescue to here, so it was a natural progression.
Between 2015 and 2017, while operating alongside a team of medical crew, the Prince helped to deliver critical care by air, often in high-pressure and life-threatening situations.
But also one of the most emotionally challenging.
And for me, it's also a really important point to be grounded, and I feel doing a job like this really helps with sort of grounding the core of what I'm sort of trying to become.
He describes the moment in the service as deeply rewarding but emotionally demanding. The experience that left a lasting impression is latter days' role in public life as the Prince, shaping his mental health focus and addressing the effects of trauma on emergency workers.
What struck me when working as an air ambulance pilot was how serious injury does not discriminate. It can happen to anyone, at any time, in any place. Just one moment can turn a life upside down.
His colleagues have remembered him as a dedicated pilot. Victor Ujin, the ambassador.
Moving forward, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has said that U.S. automaker has signed a $16.5 billion deal to source chips from Samsung Electronics, a move expected to bolster South Korean tech giant's loss-making contract manufacturing business. Samsung shares jumped as much as 6.8% to their highest since September last year after news of the deal. Tesla shares were up to 1.9% in U.S. pre-market trading. Musk said Samsung's new chip factory in Taylor, Texas, will make Tesla's next-generation A16 chip, potentially re-energizing the project that has faced long delays amid Samsung difficulties in retaining and attracting major clients. The U.S. and European Union have agreed to a trade deal that includes a 15% tariffs on European goods entering the U.S. and a significant EU investment in the U.S. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen traveled to Donald Trump's Scottish golf resort for the high-stakes meeting, where the U.S. president said the agreement was the biggest deal ever reached. Here are the details.
In a major development that averts a full-blown transatlantic trade war, the United States and the European Union have reached a landmark trade agreement. The deal, finalized during a high-stakes meeting as President Donald Trump's Scottish golf resort, sets a 15% tariff on European goods entering the U.S. and includes significant European investment commitments. President Trump hailed the agreement as the biggest deal ever reached, marking a pivotal moment in global trade relations.
Good news. We've reached a deal. It's a good deal for everybody, I believe. And I think you were saying this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic. It's 15% tariffs across the board, all inclusive.
The agreement outlines a range of measures aimed at balancing trade between the two economic powers. While the 15% tariff marks a notable increase from the previous levels, it is seen as a compromise compared to earlier threats of much higher rates. In exchange, the EU has committed to purchase hundreds of billions of dollars in American energy and defense equipment, as well as making large-scale investment in U.S. infrastructure and technology sectors.
We would have been on the 1st of August. We would have been at 30%. And it would have been much more difficult to get down now to the 15%. 15% is certainly a challenge for some, but we should not forget it keeps us the access to the American market.
The deal has been broadly welcomed by leaders on both sides of the Atlantic, easing fears of escalating trade tensions. European officials described the outcome as stabilizing though concerns remain about the long-term impact on prices and global supply chains. As details continue to be finalized, the agreement marks a turning point in the US-EU relations, resetting the tone for future cooperation while signaling a more assertive trade stance from both blocs. Beatrice Wangoi, The Ambassador News.
Now shifting the focus to what's currently happening in the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared no more excuses for the United Nations after Israel opened secure routes for humanitarian aid into Gaza. In remarks delivered during a visit to an airbase on Sunday, Netanyahu accused the UN of spreading pretexts and lies about Israel concerning the blockade of aid to Gaza. This statement comes amid mounting international pressure on Israel to prevent mass starvation in Gaza. Western leaders and humanitarian organizations have criticized Israel for restricting the flow of aid supplies, warning of famine-like condition affecting hundreds of thousands of Gazans. Netanyahu, however, insisted that Israel has allowed the entry of humanitarian supplies through the conflict and suggested that with the new secure routes officially announced, responsibility now lies with the UN, an aid agency, to deliver the needed assistance. Despite the opening of these routes, the amount and accessibility of aid remains a contentious issue. The UN World Food Programme reports that a third of Gaza's population has not eaten for days, and 470,000 people face extreme hunger. Many aid organizations continue to call for comprehensive ceasefire, unfettered access, and a large-scale flow of humanitarian aid to address the humanitarian disaster.
אבל האו"ם מייצר תירוץ ושקר על מדינת ישראל. הוא אומר, לא נותנים לי להיכנס עם אספקה הומניטרית. נותנים, יש צירים מאובטחים, כל הזמן היו, אבל היום זה רשמי, לא יהיו יותר תירוצים. אנחנו נמשיך להילחם, ואנחנו נמשיך לפעול עד שנשיג את כל יעדי המלחמה שלנו, עד הניצחון.
And that's all for today here at The Ambassador 1 p.m. I've been Ambassador Susan Nganga. Have a good afternoon.